So now we are here to at our roundtable discussion, just a little casual conversations with our photographers. Let's start introducing them. So first, hi, I'm Jelly. I will be your moderator for today. Let's introduce our photographers. First, we have, can you please stand up, Miss Ennuh Chu? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So Miss Ennuh is a Manila-based, lens-based artist and photographer whose practice explores self-discovery and identity through portraiture, scanography, and experimental techniques. A participant in the 2025 Angkor Photo Workshops and the Women in Film and Photography 2021 Singapore. Her work on Siem Reap's drag community has toured cities including New York and Bangkok. In addition to exhibiting at the Photo Bali Festival, Ennuh works as an editorial, fashion, and portrait photographer. So let's give it up for Miss Ennuh. Next, we have Christine Chung. So Christine Chung is a Korean-Filipino photographer based in the Philippines. She uses photography to explore ambiguity, understanding, identity, belonging, and her relationship with family. A graduate of Ateneo de Manila University, she has been mentored through the Invisible Photographer Asia program, Alex Baluyot's masterclass, and Angkor Photo Festival workshop under Sorab Hura and Antoine Diagata. Christine is a founding member of Flint Photo Manila, a collective organizing events and discussions for photography practitioners. So again, Christine Chung. Next, we have Bienyl Huelgas. Bienyl is an emerging photographic artist based in Cavite, Philippines. Her work centers on portraiture to explore her transgender identity and chronicle queer experiences. An alumna of the Angkor Photo Workshops, her work has been featured in Lens Scratch and Photo Review and recognized by the International Photography Awards. She is a finalist for the 2025 Head-on Portrait Awards and was named the top 200 finalists in the 2025 Photo Lucida Critical Mass. Ayun. So, Miss Bienyl Huelgas. Next, we have Richmond Cadsawan. So, Richmond is a Filipino photographer and cinematographer whose work moves between still and moving images. An alumnus of the Angkor Photo Workshop 2026, he maintains a quiet devotion to photography as an intimate practice reflecting the unnoticed rhythms of life. So again, Richmond. Next, we have Dennese Victoria. So Dennese Victoria lives and works from the Philippines, working across photography, moving image, and installation. Her practice investigates truth, memory, personal history, and questions between self and other. Again, Dennese Victoria. Okay. Last but not the least, we have AG de Mesa. AG de Mesa is a photographer, writer, and academic who has collaborated with institutions including the Museum of Photography, Seoul, Ayala Museum, and CCP. He is the co-founder of the College of Fine Arts and Design at Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite, where he co-developed the photography program. He also edits Reading Photographs, an online platform for critical reflections on photo books and photography in Southeast Asia. Once again, AG de Mesa. So we have quite the roster here right now. So you're all Angkor Photo Fest alumni, right? But before that, you were just aspiring photographers. And I think everyone would like to know, how did you start your photography journey? Do you want to start with you?
Pwede mo na mag-Taglish dito, di ba? Go. Chill lang tayo, guys. Casual, chikahan na lang siya. So, I started photography in 2024, actually.
Sorry.
Literally, a year into photography, I got into Angkor on my first try. I submitted my application last day sa deadline. I was like, let me whip up some like PDF of my portfolio. Submit it, free naman, walang mawawala. And then, one afternoon I was sleeping, pagising ko, I got an email. Congratulations, you got into Angkor. I was like, shit, pupunta ba ako? Kaya ko ba to? Cambodia, like my first out-of-country experience. So I got into photography, basically, because of a breakup. It was a way of me to process my feelings during that time. I went to Sagada, I photographed the landscape of Sagada, the people of Sagada. And I realized na, wait, I can do photography as a hobby. And yun, almost a year into photography, I realized na parang, this is something that I can excel in. I can work on to become an art practice. So that's how I started with photography, because of a breakup and because I was bored.
A recurring theme probably for at least, I echo the sentiment that, I also started photography after a breakup. Because my ex at the time was like, oh, I'm into art and digital photography, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ganun na, digital photography ka. Sige, I'm gonna start using film. This was in 2008, so I started using film all the time to the point that I forgot why I was photographing in the first place. Like before, it was just revenge. Parang, actually, mong saya nito. So then a lot of things happened. Fast forward to, I met VJ Villafranca around 2012, 2013. And that's where I got introduced to that method or way of seeing that Angkor Photo Festival does. And I got in when they removed, kasi before, Angkor Photo Festival has an age restriction, that 25 only, 25 and below, ganon. Tinanggal nila yun for the 2014 batch, and I'm like, yes, finally, makapasok pa ako. Kasi 2013, depressed na ako nun. Like, then 2014, they removed the age restriction, and I got in that year. And as you see, like, the festival was able to like grow, not just how I see or how I view, but like different perspectives of how to do photography. And after that was like how I changed everything in my career. That's when I did photo book research, photography writing, and also doing my own practice. But I really immersed on that side of looking at community narratives in Philippine photoland, as I'd like to call it, and saw how it all ebbs and flows, how everything is connected. So that's pretty much like from a breakup to now, like actually viewing Philippine photography as a whole. So that's been the journey thus far. Richmond, breakup din?
Hindi naman. I started photography. I started actually as a street photographer. So I use photography as a way to parang escape in a way. I always use photography. I walk whenever I am sad, when I have these feelings of, I don't know. So to have some clarity in my mind, I do walk and do some street photography. And then, so after college, I wanted to become a film director. And then I turned up doing parang cinematography. And when I'm studying cinematography, yung photography para siyang kapatid. It's like the same in a way. But you study nung una, at first I study forms, lines, nung street photography. But then after pandemic, parang I tried to watch different type of photography, and then I realized that parang this is poetry, this is literature, and then ayun, nagbago yung pagtingin ko sa photography in a way.
Sorry na ano pa. Hindi sa akin. Hindi, I mean sa akin.
Sorry.
Oh, breakup. Since we're on the topic of breakup, charot. So what I think one thing that I wasn't able to mention, I mean in past photography talks, especially when it comes to Angkor because it's so far, it's like my ex is actually he's the photographer, and I didn't want to be a photographer. Like I hated it at first, and then he was the one who always has a camera around. Like I turned into him actually because now I have like a camera around taking photos of anything. And then that was the first time I feel like I was exposed to a person who would take photos of the randomest shit that you could think of na parang, oh, it's AG with like an orange fan. That's so cool. I'm gonna take a photo of it. Because I was born in an era where we only take photos when there's a special occasion or there's a birthday or there's a field trip. And then that was like the first time I got exposed to that sort of photography. And then I just needed something to document my life during that time because I suck at painting, I don't know how to draw. And then I started journaling and then I felt like, I need something to accompany like my life and remember it. And so that's how I got into photography. And when it comes to like my practice, my VJ is actually AG and Chung because I remember during the pandemic, I was very interested in like looking at the body of work that I have as a whole. And then thinking, hey, what can I do with this body of work? Because I can't just keep on shooting and like not have a structure to it. And then I remember like going on a call with AG and then yung sinabi pa niya sa akin, ito lang yung malakas mo na photo, isa lang. Pero valid naman. And then I remember like during that time there was like a thing in my head that I wanted to do or I felt like I wanted to do which was like documenting the nightlife and raves of Manila. Because in my head, parang, oh, I'm the cool girl, like I'm the indie girl, I'm the colorful girl. So it makes sense, right, to document raves. And then when I was talking to AJ, okay, like what can you bring to this practice? What can you bring to what narrative can you bring out of this? Is there anything that? And then when I nagchika. And then I think. The turning point for me during that time was I started documenting my relationship with my mom. And it was very different from the type of work that I wanted to do at that time, which was very colorful. And it was very, it was just photo of us two, and it was, majority of it was actually in black and white. And then that was when it started to sink in that I should start trying to do work that really resonates with me and my experience, rather than trying to do something which I don't really have like such a deeper connection to. So yeah, that's how I started.
For me, I think pre-Angkor, I would say nag-start siya nung high school. I was documenting, high school events. And then in college, I took a leave of absence because I was struggling with my mental health. So I was looking for something to do, and then I discovered through the internet there was a street photography workshop. At the time, Eric Kim, if you're familiar. So sikat siya on YouTube and in the general street photography community. So that was, I guess, my entry point to a more serious practice of photography. And then that's also where I met AG, and I was, 19 at the time? Maybe 17, maybe, yeah. So, ayun, from then on, naging parang kuya ko si AG. And then through AG, I photography became even more amazing. Wala kasi, more than street photography, parang may more poetic nga na approach, and you can also make your personal work. So, anything goes. So at the time, I was drawn to more confessional kind of work, and then yung Japanese street photography movement, like very harsh, aesthetic, black and white, that thing. I was kind of drawn to that, so I was inspired by that to create my work confronting yung mental health diagnosis ko, which was bipolar 2. So through that, I kind of wanted my practice to be more authentic. Ayun, so fast forward, I used that work also to enter Angkor, and then I was so excited at the time. The sobrang baby ko pa. I didn't know anything, and then during the workshop, very intimidating siya kasi ang high caliber ng mga kasama ko, they were photographing already for the New York Times. Tas ako parang very fresh. Pero that experience was so formative. It will stay with me forever. Ayun lang.
Amazing. Hi. So I was in Angkor in 2012, so very old. How I began. So I don't know if you remember, there was a show called Storyline on ABS-CBN a long time ago. I was an intern there as a camera operator. And then, so it was video first, at least for me, 2011. But at the same time, that small office, I think had 2 or 3 Angkor alumni. So Jeloy was there, Jeric was there. So we kind of grew up together. It was kind of an inheritance of like, it was normal. Like photography, maybe because video was my day job. But actually, now as an older auntie, I realized like what really drew me was just the encounter with life. That was what I was hungry for. I mean, if you ask me now, I don't think I became a photographer after Angkor. Maybe an artist or, I don't know, a researcher, finder. Yeah, but from the beginning, it was like a hunger for life. Like, am I allowed to live? Like, I'm hungry for that. Like, even just watching this, like, oh, I feel like I'm in exile, not able to go back to that kind of, like, I like the intensity in the room. And then what happened? So yeah, basically camera operator from the start. I was studying journalism. So I didn't really get assignments because it was just for me. So at the time, every day we would go out, interview, not every day, maybe twice a week. Listen from ordinary people to like the vice president, and then like photography was my own thing. Like it was my way of holding together my own life. Yeah, and then suddenly like Jeloy and Jericho was like, you should go to this place. The soil is red. So that was my introduction. Like I didn't know like, because back in our day, there was no social media, no internet, no Google Maps. And really the only way to see the work is to go there, to be there. So yeah, that was my introduction. The soil is red. I'm like, I want to see that. Like, what's it like? So yeah, thank you.
So you guys have had quite a journey. You've been in photography for quite some time, except Bienyl, she was just born yesterday. But so I think the room is curious about what is the most pivotal moment of your photographic journey that made you the photographers and lens-based artists that you are today, like that really solidify your style, like or style or subject or and perspective, you know. What is this pivotal moment? You want to start? Okay.
Fine lang. Since naman to roundtable discussion naman, I'd just like to add to Denise's point that photography has become like a way for, holding your life together. So recently, it's been also my way to escape my work, my own life. Parang I was very depressed with work after coming back to Angkor, such a high. And then I went back to work and it was such a sad thing coming back to the Philippines. I'm sorry. I was having the time of my life in Cambodia. I was 50% photography workshop, 50% vacation. I was like there, nagpa-manicure ako, nagpa-salon ako, nagpaganda ako. Oh my God, they love me there. Sabi, tuwan-tuwa sa akin yung mga Cambodian doon. I was a local, basically. Nakipagtawaran pa ako doon sa market nila kasi I need to buy a luggage. So it was a very fun experience. And then coming back here to the Philippines, parang, why are we here in this country? And that's also a way, kaya yung photography, it kept me moving forward in a time of darkness, of facing that reality of, we're back here in the Philippines. That's why I started a new series that I've been posting on Instagram. I made that during a 2-week depression period. So I internalized things. I wanted to do new work. I wanted to, have something to look forward to. That's basically it. I think that's what photography should be for everyone. It's something that you look forward to. And with regard to the question, pivotal, my career. Actually, with photography here in the Philippines, I've always felt like an outsider in the scene. Since I just started, I didn't know anyone. And I realized that within this scene, you need to know people. That's like what I didn't like. Because you need to network. You need to know these people, so that you can have recognition. I didn't play any of that. I didn't do the people game, basically. I submitted to Angkor on my own volition. Yung mga pinagsubmitan ko abroad, internationally, they do open calls. And that's how I realized that those people abroad value merit of your own photography. They don't judge you for sino ka. Is your photo good enough to be displayed in Australia, in America? If it's good enough, then it's good. The juror will add your photo into this group exhibition. So, mga ganun siya. That's basically how I navigated my own photography. If I have a style, I don't know if I have a style. I feel like I am ever evolving. Started with image, text-based work on my first series, which was finalist in Chung Gallery in New York for a photo award. And I think if you're familiar with my Instagram, parang nagpa-vote pa ako for People's Choice. I'm really proud of that one. We won, Philippines. I won $500 for that. And ayun, tapos yun yung ginamit ko para makalipad ako to Cambodia. So it was parang, God willing, ganun siya. So I think, yun yung parang pivotal moment is that when you're an outsider, you learn how to move outside that system. Some of yung mga parang photographers dito, parang first time ko palang na-meet, ganun. Because, ayun nga, I didn't do the parang, hi, ako si Bienyl, hi. Invite niyo ako sa ganito. I went outside of basically the Philippine contemporary scene. I looked and researched what they're doing in the US, in Europe, in Australia. Submitted there, and they saw that my work was good enough. And I got exhibited there. So I think yun yung point ko, if you are a photographer in the Philippines and you feel like hindi na-appreciate yung work mo, you're not the problem. The Philippines is the problem. Sorry, but that's very how I feel. Like, don't blame yourself because the Philippines is the one that's failing you. Because abroad, sobrang robust ng scene nila. They're doing amazing things. They're doing amazing work, photographic work. That's not... The amazing thing there is when you look at what photographers abroad are doing, mapapa-question ka talaga. Is this even photography anymore? And that, I think, is what I want for Philippines as well, for our artists here, to move from just, a photographer into a visual artist. Do you have any thoughts, AG? As Dennese, ayan.
I just thought of responding to the question of playing the game. Kasi I feel like I also didn't play. And also like when you did say that you felt like an outsider. But arriving here, like I saw like how much people loved you. And like, oh Benny, like people clearly clapped for you, and like I hope you see that. In my case, I didn't play the hello game, I'm Dennese game, but I did play the I'll stay here because there's something here. So even like for storyline, the interview then like, because I'm not good sometimes. Now I can talk, but before there was a long period where I'm almost nonverbal, like I couldn't even enter the door just because of so much social anxiety. And with that small storyline office with Pat Evangelista, I remember like she asked me like, why you, or like why do you want to like, why should we select you as an intern? And I just said, I don't know, I just want to be here. And like even then, your strange answers already let me in. And even in the same thing of like getting a US visa, I was so nervous. I just said, I like my life. And the officer accepted that answer as proof, like why I would return. So yeah, like I just wanted to, before I forget, like like no matter how strange I am, like a door has always opened. Like not traditionally. So for example, the traditional spaces, whether it's CCP, Ateneo, UP, I feel like my work isn't inside, but my labor is welcome. So I could be sad about that, like, oh, I'm just laboring for the 13 artists or something like that. But at the same time, I cannot ignore like all of the doors I've been able to be let inside, like, because there's so many. They're just not traditional. But like, if you're struggling, like, because just to say, I was in the Angkor committee, but not because I'm good. It's just because I kept coming back. So for a very long time, I was just like going there, like alone, like, and just staring at the river, being awkward, not talking. And like just finally someone just said like, just join the committee, you're always here. So like, when I reflect upon like, is the Philippines closed in terms of like, am I not welcome here? Now, as an older person, I think, because I used to feel that way when I was young. Now I'm like, maybe I didn't give it a chance also. Like for example here, how can I deny that this is special? Like, there's war and like, we're here, we're listening to each other. It's a practice to remember that privilege of like, I'm waiting for your answer. So yeah, like even now I still feel like maybe my work there's no space here, but maybe that's not true. Maybe I should like be lonely in the river also again and give this place a chance, because it's impossible to like, am I really an artist if I don't like find beauty everywhere? Like especially if now that I'm more confined here and not as flying around. So at least that's why I'm questioning. Like I'm questioning myself, because in one sense I miss Angkor. Like, oh, I wish I can come back, but now I cannot afford it anymore. So but at the same time, like I'm challenging myself. Like I need to give this place a chance. Like surely that's my work, like to find and to like to give myself a chance of being found. So yeah, like if you're strange, if you're lost, like, and also maybe because I've worked as an assistant for 13 artists in Gababa and like of all of these traditional centers, like making coffee for the bosses and stuff, like the center gets tired. So if you're in the edge, that's beautiful, because sooner or later the center gets tired of itself. So that's really like what's exciting to me. And like even just watching Zar grow up, for example, like more and more I realized like from the beginning he was making his own solar system because he couldn't fit in, and now like, wow, I appreciate that so much. And I like if your peers, just I'm excited, like how will you change, like even just the two of you, like maybe in the future, like, yeah, sorry, I just
Okay, as someone who played the game, I I feel like now would be. I think it's better to have like a different POV. But I guess when it comes to how I started my practice, I'm a dreamer. So it's not really like navigating your own practice by yourself. Like to me, it wasn't that. It was really always being surrounded by a community or a group of people who would say that, hey, you can do it. So I felt that with AG and Lontok when they were after Lontok came back from Angkor, I think they were like, oh, you should try. We're manifesting for you. It's your time. It's your time next. So, but it's that push, it's that confidence that there are people around me who also have the same dream, but at the same time they have space for you, and like they open themselves up to you, and it's really for me like just that little nudge. And people who are saying that, hey, you can do this because I saw your work and it's like, it's great, you can do something out of it. For me, I'm the type of person who really needs that, because otherwise I feel like I wouldn't have been a photographer. So yeah, that's just my POV.
Pivotal moment in your photographic practice.
Pivotal moment. So I was watching this podcast of Alex Sot, and then he always talks about meditation, and then and that's where I started also to. That's where I started to. Sorry. I was diagnosed of generalized anxiety disorder. So I have a bunch of images which that I don't know what to do. I don't post it much in Instagram or anything. I just take pictures whenever I'm sad, whenever I feel something. So that's where by the time I realized that I need to change myself, to change my perspective, I tried meditation. So, yun siguro yung pivotal moment ko that I discovered that photography is deeper than, alam mo yun, it feels like it's much deeper than just form, lines, and everything. So I use meditation in my photography, in a way. So, and also, photography has been my way to, as a therapy, kasi medyo mahal yung therapy, in a way. So, yun, I started compiling all my images and try to find that feeling in my photographs, and then I compiled it and then submitted to Angkor, and then I'm so privileged that I got into Angkor, and then it changed my perspective to photography in a way. So the beauty for me, like yung beauty ng photography kasi parang ano siya parang it's something like philosophical in a way. So it's basically life. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I have a counterpoint lang dun sa sinabi ni Denise? Because I guess na-realize ko din based dun sa answer ni Denise is that I feel like with my practice din kasi, it started nung nag-grow na siya. Parang yung kay Toni Morrison na quote na parang, as a marginalized person, you create a space for yourself because you're not included in the center that you were pointing out kanina. And I really appreciate yung comment na the center will get tired of itself. And suddenly, ikaw na yung magiging center because you've cultivated your own practice outside of that center. I think that's a really inspiring thing to say. Kasi nga, as a trans person, I'm used to being discriminated, marginalized. And I guess nadala ko siya when here dito sa Sina parang medyo, nandun yung takot of, will these people understand my work? But yun nga, parang pag-usapan din namin sa Sachet Projects, kina Gino, during our tambay hours, na parang, sometimes when you're doing something that is pioneering, that's not being done, and you're cultivating that space outside of the center, sooner, hahabol yan. Marirealize nila na yung trabaho mo is something important. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they look back to it. And that's something that I'm holding on to, na parang, one day, my work will, parang, magigets din, basically. I won't be explaining it anymore. I won't be defensive and like, naintindihan ba nila yung trabaho ko? Because yun nga, darating yung panahon na makaka-catch up din yung, I guess, yung center that you are talking about. What about you, AG? As someone in the center.
The long convoluted way of answering that, I'll start with what happened after I got back from Angkor Photo. I started writing about photography and photo books. All the books I read, I have an ongoing tally. I look at photographic work. That's one of the things I learned in Angkor Photo, how to look at actual work. With so many conversations I had with, so one of the things about the festival is, for the first time, you're gonna see people in the same, most of you are around the same age, you're gonna go there, same circumstances, but you're from different countries. Like, oh, so this person from China has the same problems I have. This person who's from Myanmar has the same thing. Or, oh, this person from India, even though he's doing like a project about the endangered species in India, and then has a conversation with me. And then he told me, "Uy, grabe your project is about your ex, and you got in. Wow, that takes so much courage." I'm like, that's just about my ex. You really chase poachers with your camera. That's more brave, but it's about point of view. So after Angkor Photo, I was looking at work differently, writing about it, to the point that VJ Villafranca, stepdad of Philippine photography, long story, but like, old dude, stepdad.
Stepdad.
Yeah, because side note, hindi, VJ, we jokingly call VJ Villafranca the stepdad of Philippine photography, because if you look at Philippine photography history, there's been like 3-4 people who got the title of father of Philippine photography. Yeah, exactly the point. Sino? We don't know who they are, they're not present, as opposed to VJ.
Makapatay na kasi.
Not just because they're dead, but yeah, they are, but their death should have left a memory, a legacy that you don't have to dig up. It's not, so, like everybody, at least in the current contemporary photo scene, had the presence of VJ, so we jokingly call him the stepdad, because he's the dad that stepped up. Anyway.
Tapos ikaw yung kuya.
Di. Iba. Center, joke lang. Anyway, so after that, VJ Villafranca, Oxley, and then Japanese photography writer Dan Abe, out of nowhere, just like, I messaged him because there was an article that he wrote about a letter to a young critic, where he wrote it to A.D. Coleman, pining that there's no more young photography writers or photography critics. And then he wrote to Dan Abe, and I wrote to Dan Abe, like, hey, how do you do what you need? How do I do what you're doing? And he just told all 3 of them just told me the same thing. You just write and you just show up. So that was like the pivotal moment. Like, I don't know anybody. I asked Judy Freya, I asked Dr. Patrick. All of them were like, there's no one, there's no somebody exclusively writing about photography in the Philippines ever. So, maybe it should be you. And I'm like, okay, fine. I just show up because I like doing it anyway. So that's what happened, and continuously to do so, and seeing how all these changes, all of these responses, I'm trying to track them all down. I'm trying to have my pulse. But photography-wise, the thing that really changed my perspective on everything was when I became the resident photographer for Poison Wednesdays at Nectar. Because, yeah. Because again, one of my ethos is just sometimes you just show up. Doesn't matter if you know anybody, doesn't matter if you just show up, just be in that place. An extrovert, an extrovert, if you're an introvert, an extrovert will just adopt you and have a conversation, and the night will take you to places. Sometimes you just show up, your presence there, just being in there. And anyway, I just showed up dun kay Super Starlet na meron siyang Halloween costume party, the nightgown costume party that he does, which became like a jump-off point to 2020 Elephant, then became Poison Wednesdays. Because anyway, Long Lord Drop 2017 era. Yeah, I don't know why I know her story, but
It's very interesting kasi parang ako nag-start din ako sa Elephant. Tapos parang ikaw din.
yeah, very first actually.
Tapos si Ennuh din.
Oo, nag-elephant ka din. Oo. The funny thing about that was, I think just the second week of it, I photographed a gay couple making out.
Okay.
And then I got called out on it
Bakit?
by the owners. At that time, because I think some of you already got it. Because they don't, but you can't just publicly do that. A kiss between two dudes,
This was 2000.
2016, 2017. So at the time, their kiss is going to be seen as something else, as being misconstrued. Daddy David told me that you also have to understand and feel that when you kiss my then girlfriend, wife, it's okay. But kiss like this might hurt them. So you have to understand. So that's when I understand the meaning of empathy. Parang, oh, ganun pala. Oh, hindi, na parang, okay, so some things that are normal to me might not be normal to others. Then apply that tenfold in looking at work. Apply that tenfold in photography. Like, I know the dictionary meaning, but like seeing it in real time. And so when I was photographing the entire scene, I was photographing it as an outsider. Like, I am here as not even like I'm here because I'm trying to understand as well, and they appreciate that point of view. And I'm so thankful for the queens for granting me access in backstage and trusting me. And so, going back to everything, like to wrap it up and go back to that response of feeling like an outsider. And there's so many ways and methodologies that you can do to engage in the medium. Like you can carve your own, or you could wait for the center to collapse. You can do the hi, hello, like sponsor me stuff. Like there are so many methodologies, ways, and whatnot. And the heartbreaking thing, I think it's also sometimes a matter of economics. Kasi the reality sometimes is like, if I'm pretty sure like there are so many weird grassroots stuff that I've seen way back na talagang middle of nowhere Commonwealth, I just saw a zine release and feeling ko masasaksa ako dun. Ganun. But I still went and everybody was drunk and I just left nung kinabahan na ako. But like, stuff like that. Like there's so many things and efforts, not just in Metro Manila, but outside of it. So it's a matter of scale in economics. Like the reality of it is the creativity is present, the work is strong, and heck, even I'm pretty sure sa mga like those who've been in Angkor, other regions are envious of what we have in the country. Yeah. Like when they visit here, parang wait, you all hang out? Like you all treat an event like this as an excuse to get together and catch up? Like you don't have like closed or gated walled gardens? Like interspersed in different genres are talking to each other, not just cliquish. Because I guess that's what we have in the Bayanihan thing, Filipino thing, what have you. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of it. But our scene is a bit, like it's not as exclusive or closed as you think it is. What's closed is the resource. Everybody's nodding because everybody understands the struggle of looking for funding, right? So it's not just it's not an exclusively photography related thing. So it's gonna cliche as it sounds, but that's why empathy, understanding is important. Tayo na lang. It's as simple as that. Tayo-tayo na lang. So it's like always nice to show up for each other. And I think I hope that, like, to circle it back, I hope that at least this night might be pivotal to somebody in the audience or somebody who will be watching live. Na parang, okay, it's okay. Like, you can actually join in. You could participate or even not participate and just produce and post your work and show it up online and do guerrilla stuff. People might even gravitate towards you. Because there are, again, it's art, so many possibilities, so many options, so many things you can do, and so many approaches. It's a matter of actually showing and presenting the work, which people don't want to do, but that's part of the process, from idea to the execution of it, I guess. Anyway, thank you.
For me, the first thought I had regarding yung pivotal moment or yung points where I've lost something in my life or I'm grieving for something. So dun lang ako nagkaka-drive na gumawa ng photos or ng work in general. I feel with photography, mas nagkaka-afterlife yung thing that I'm grieving for. For example, yung I'm making work about my grandma. So parang through the things that she left behind, I feel like she still lives on. Medyo cheesy, pero the photographs just, parang may magic din siya for me. Because photos are kind of like portals to, different worlds, and each photographer then has their own world. They're building their own universes within their bodies of work. So for me, through grieving, photos make the world bigger and not, I'm not just by myself. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we've heard such a rich discussion on making, like, how to get opportunities, how to build your community, how to develop your own practice. I guess we have just a few minutes left, and I think for final question, what would you like to see in the future of Philippine photography? Who would like to start? Doon naman.
Yung sa center ba?
Yung sa center.
We are in uncharted territory right now. The photographic scene, at least, how it's been accepted by the mainstream art scene has never been like this before, since probably 1981, when Ray Albano was holding CCP, and he was introducing photography like so. But I think I would dare say that the scene we have now is bigger than ever before. I say uncharted territory because new venue. This is like the first time. Like, this is a new venue, and this is the first time it's hosting this. New faces, new places, efforts like from bigger organizations teaching and moving outside, decentralizing Metro Manila. More diverse, like, I'll be straight. Well, I'm straight, but I'll be frank. I'll be frank and say that, like, you probably wouldn't be able to practice 15 years ago. I will dare say that.
I wasn't born yet.
Wow, fresh no fresh. But I dare say that. Now, the barriers to entry are extremely low. Like, for Christ's sake, even brands are engaging in the method of photography. Like, they want to see it as an exhibition and not just outside the context of a salon. Yeah. So we are currently in uncharted territory. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I do have a wish list. One of it is, of course, the decentralization of Metro Manila. Kasi I always say Philippine photo land, but technically it's just Metro Manila. But there's so many things happening outside the regions. And then the other wish list that I have is universal basic income. Like, everybody should have, hopefully we could just practice art and contribute, di ba, ganun. Because that's where you're gonna have more people who can do research, more people to engage in work, more people to explore stories and present these stories and make and create history. But at least the very, like, the what's the future hold, I really don't know. Because if it's not going to be sustainable, if the practice is not going to be sustainable, it might implode. That's my biggest fear. Because, yeah, lots of practitioners, but where are they going to show work? You keep saying that you have to show work. Yeah, you could, create your own platforms, blah, blah, but the platforms are owned by multinational conglomerates. Yeah, but if Meta doesn't deem fit, they'll censor the work. So you have to, so the punk way is self-publish. But if self-publishing, you're limited reach. So there's so many pros and cons. Again, multiple approach. And I am just excited. Parang hindi, no? Excited. I am a bit excited and optimistic of what the future of Philippine photography would hold. I just hope there is continuous engagement with it, not just from like art and photography community, but in the greater like mainstream in particular. Like your public engagement, which has always been a challenge naman for art institutions. So let's see, like, I have no idea where it's gonna go. So it's all for us here na parang journeying to an unknown territory, but it's a territory we can carve. Wow, colonizer. it's a new scene that we can build. Yun na lang, para mas maganda pakinggan. It's a scene that we can build, and I hope to see more works and more effort. Not effort, ba? More works and more initiatives and opportunities for everybody.
Ako, in my perspective, I just wish na parang we have more platform to show our work, because I'm pretty sure there are lots of beautiful works, and there are so many great photographers in the Philippines. I just wish that we have many platforms to show it, and yun. And then mas diverse in terms of photography, parang to show and to actually na mas may diversify natin yung different works, to accept, like, to have a community that would accept different types, different genres, different way of storytelling. Yun.
Okay. As for me, since we're living in the age of AI, I really want more people to lean into like making stuff with your hands, like making stuff with your eyes, like making stuff with the tools that you have in your arsenal. And also when it comes to like different way of showing work, I want to see more photo zines. I've been collecting zines since more than a decade ago, and I feel like ang dami pang zines na pwedeng gawin. Like ang dami pang topics, ang dami pang narratives na hindi siya lumalabas on print. And I feel like now is a good time for us to do that, because nga in the age of social media and it's very saturated, there are a lot of photographers that I meet na if they don't show me their work in a print format, I wouldn't appreciate it, honestly, because it just gets drowned out in all the noise. So I feel like it's something, like seeing your work on print, sort of for me, feels like it gives it a longer life than just posting it on social media. So yeah, and also, when it comes to the type of work, yun nga, diversity, I want to see work that are messy. I want to see work na you don't feel like it's there yet, but you just want to put it out there as a form of expression. That's also something that I want to see, yung more raw type of work in like a zine format. And just like, don't be afraid to, like for me, parang I want to see more works from people who are just starting out in the industry, because diba, we'll never know. Like, we can find another, like, Bienyl here. Diba? Diba? Parang, like, ang daming work pa na gusto kong makita, and from other people also. Like, not from the same people over and over. Because I feel like it will also help us get exposed to yun nga. Parang, as what AG mentioned, like, it's not just Manila. Like, if we're from the provinces, that's also something that I don't see a lot of. So yun, that's what I wanna see. Ayan.
I guess, same din, more diverse viewpoints. Mas bibiyakin yung definition of photography, like how it can be shown, like a slideshow or slideshow sa labas with different communities, like more people having access to image making, so they can tell their own stories or tell stories of their own communities para maging authentic, less parachute journalism, more community photography. That, yeah. Yes.
Ano ba? Asan, ano ba? Hope. What do I want to see? Difficult question. I feel like the difference with before is like before, like when I was younger, like we were really looking at specific spaces. Oh, this gallery, and you get into this specific festival, and that's the validation. But the exciting thing for me now is that mode is really broken. Like coming from Angkor committee, we don't have money. Like, so that mode of sustaining is really broken. Plus, and I was saying, like, I was surprised that a lot of people came because for the past 3 years we were having a difficult time trying to get people back to come visit Siem Reap. So it's really nice to say, oh, like this is still alive, you know, like this is still drawing in people. So that's sad, but at the same time it excites me because it's like how will people like do this now? Like, okay, you say you want this. No one forced you to want this. No one forced you, like, this is still privilege, like, to be asked. Like, do you ask? I don't think everyone gets asked. So this is still privilege that I'm waiting for your work. I'm waiting for the way you see things. So, like, I'm excited. Like, how will this scarcity change us? How will, like, because I feel like everything I know about making it is already outdated. So I will have to hand make it to go to the next place. And then I liked what she said also about making things with your hands, because for me at least, like, because I didn't become so at first I was still just making photos. So back then I had a lot of space. Not here, but also like different places overseas. Like it was work about my family. So when I didn't make photos anymore, like I don't actually get accepted to open calls now. So since 2017, I have to fund it myself. Like whatever it is, like because I want to. So my maybe, I don't know, like wish for everyone is like really find a process that will save you. Like, I like what Ocean Wong said about, like, it's just a raft you send down river. So like validation exhibits, it's just so brief. Like, it's so nice to get a free flight, which I have experienced and I miss. I miss, like, oh, free flight to Germany, I miss it. But at the same time, like, it's so brief. Like, you know, like, so find the process that'll like save you. And also, like, the sooner you accept yourself. So for example, for me, if I accepted 10 years ago that I'm not gonna be good at client work, I would have moved differently. Like, I would have set up a foundation for myself. Like, maybe I should just run a cafe that I can close and I can do my projects. The sooner you accept yourself and the way you move and whatever your like insecurities, vulnerabilities are, it's better. Like, don't try to go to a place that doesn't want you. Like, oh my gosh, it doesn't work. Like, and you'll know, like, if it's your space, because it's waiting for you. So, like, I'm excited, like, if, like, all of us here, like, really, like, lean into our own language, the way you really want to express, like, then, like, that's what I'm looking forward to, like, the life behind, like, Anton quote of, like, I don't care about how you feel. I care about what you do with what you feel. So, like, yeah, like, that's what I am looking forward to. Like, yeah, like, an AG who's in the center. I saw him move, like, from outside. Like, it's like, quiet guy. Like, not quiet, maybe. He was talkative. But like, I saw him show up. Like, I've met him because I went back to Angkor I think 8 or 9 times. So I also showed up, being awkward. But I saw him like he was also just here, like he was as present, you know, like and I like that when he got in the center, like he was always trying to bring people back, because I don't think I'm gonna be like him. Like he's so like more open. I'm a cave, so I see it like, you know, like it's so beautiful to see like, oh, this is how we're gonna grow old, and like I look forward to like, how will you change? Like, what will you be, a ballet dancer? Like, you know, like it's so beautiful. So what else is my hope? Personally, I feel like I want to make better work, because I kind of dropped photography, just photo in 2017, because I kind of lost faith in it. And I couldn't just bear to be a receiver. Like, the process-wise, I needed to transform. Like, if you're exposed to so much need in documentary or like other work, at some point, like, you cannot just listen. But at the same time, I miss the faith in like the figure in a real journey. Like, I miss it so much. Like, but at the same time, I'm not as brave, because I was 21 in Angkor, so I was like more brave to like, I don't know the cost of coming close. Now that I understand that we make and unmake each other, I'm more terrified. But at the same time, like, I want to challenge myself. Like, I miss like actual people, like actual risk. So yeah, I look forward to actual risk and the lives that you will lead, like your actual life. You know?
I'm really excited with the direction of, I guess not in the direction, but with the future of Philippine photography, contemporary photography, especially with the turnout of this event. Ang daming interested, ang daming nag-sign up, that we had to close the forum. Nakakataba siya ng puso. It's heartwarming to see so many people show up and be curious and understand and appreciate Angkor's ethos in like photography, and showing that photography can be a slideshow, photography can be more than just pixels. That photography can be art itself. So I'm really happy, and I want to thank everyone that came here. Maraming salamat. I think, you know, parang natouch din ako sa parang sabi ni Denise. I think I'm also battling with the imposter syndrome, na parang, am I actually good enough for this? And I guess part of it is because when I started photography, I did not have a mentor to talk to, a friend, parang someone more established in the photography scene, na parang, tama ba itong ginagawa ko? Am I doing the right thing? Am I, you know, I don't want to make mistakes, but I don't have much. Well, I guess AG, sometimes I message AG then, ganun. But when I got into Angkor, I was like doubtful talaga. Parang, is this what I want? When I got there, I realized that it was meant to be, you know, na the land itself, Cambodia itself, opened up its arms to me and made me realize that I was chosen for a reason. And that is my hope for everyone who attended here, who saw the works, that you appreciate and realize na your photography can be important, can be very interesting, can be, you know, more than just an Instagram post, you know. Because sometimes we just post on Instagram, it dies there. It needs to have a life outside of internet. I think that's what I hope. So I hope yung mga na-inspire dito, they try to apply to Angkor Photo Fest workshops. They open around September, right? August, September, per month. I guess my advice then is that try to build a body of work that is, I guess, personal to you, or at least interesting enough for the mentors, I guess yung mga pumipili to understand your work. And I hope yung next representative from the Philippines ay nandito. Di ba? Sige.
Actually, hindi kailangan magaling ka kasi minsan random talaga siya. So, yung mga tutor, syempre may sarili din silang hinahanap. So just to because a lot of people are heartbroken that they didn't get, and I cannot deny that Angkor is special because obviously I came back 9 times. But just to prove, it's also an imagined and agreed center. So you don't have to be there because a lot of people who went there didn't continue their practice. So it's just a portal. Sometimes people come out differently. You became, which is good also and beautiful because it transforms you. And then sometimes the tutors don't select the best actually. They're looking for like people also, no? Like just like all of us, we're looking for someone, something. And so the more yourself you are, the better. So don't worry. Sometimes magulat ka talaga, okay. So parang yun yung ganda rin siya, na hindi siya hierarchical masyado.
Kalahin mo yun, finalo lang kita Twitter dahil sa Genshin Impact. Tapos... Tapos nagtoto ka na ngayon about Angkor Photo. Palakpakan naman natin.
Yun yung humble origins ko. Shit poster sa Twitter. Before 2024, I was a menace on Twitter. Basically, I was like... I had a different life back then.
Tanong ako sa'yo.
Ano nga yung, ano yung legacy mo na meme na... Si Idol pala. Siya yun.
yung mga daga sa Twitter na nangaaway. Pero anyway, sakay na yan. I guess going back din dun sa, dun sa hope for Philippine contemporary photography is that wag kayong mawalan ng pag-asa because I'll be honest din, struggle bus din talaga yung photography. Not every application is an acceptance. I've received so many rejection letters. Parang I've invested money din as well na parang pangkain ko na sana, pinang-open call ko pa. Art card yan. Working art card yan. Diba? Petsa de peligros, mag-open call application ka. Tapos marireceive mo, sorry, you didn't let me.
So, wala man lang rin.
Diba?
Diba parang rejection?
Ngayon. So, sometimes you have to be strategic din talaga na may mga ina-apply din ako na nagbibigay sila ng portfolio review. So I think that's very interesting to see how more established photographers see your work. So if may mga portfolio, I hope we have more portfolio reviews here in the Philippines.
O sabi ko si na BJ, portfolio review.
Pasabi naman sa Photomoto.
Sige. Sabi ako.
Portfolio reviews. Para, ayun nga, you have someone more established look into your work and see paano mo may improve yung practice mo. I guess I'm also excited because we are planning something, cooking something up for Q3 of this year, an all-women's photography show by Sachet Projects. So, kami ni na Ennuh, ni na Christine, and other women photographers that I've contacted that are not necessarily in the scene, but are doing something interesting. Because yung prompt nung show, I'm gonna say it na rin, is that it comes from Susan Sontag's book na parang...
Which one?
The seminal one on photography.
Oh, photography mismo.
The image is also an object. So it's very interesting kasi doon nalalabas yung other printmaking methods na mapaisip ka na you can showcase photography in this manner. Na parang yung slideshow, cyanotype, yung mga ganun. Ano mo siyang i-print sa film boxes and other interesting stuff. And exciting. ano tayo, something to look forward to. Ayun lang naman for me. Siguro if you want to talk about photography, if you need someone to like, help you with your work, I'm always open to, because starting with this, I didn't have anyone. And I want to be that to someone here. Someone here in the photography scene. Usap lang tayo about your photography. Let's push for more photographers here in the Philippines to have that recognition, because maraming mga galing, kulang lang talaga tayo sa resources. Yun yung sad thing. So I think that's it.
Okay. Okay, let's give it a round of applause for our photographers. I hope tonight that we got the chance. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you for letting us get to know you deeper and your practice. And hopefully, this would also enrich your own personal practice. So let's give each other a round of applause. Wow. Nice.